the decision that a communication is on the floor currently being reviewed, that their salary be reduced from 8,000 United States dollars to 5,000 United States dollars. I mean, come on, man. These people receiving all of the best of allowances, the best of support they need. They got gas slip, they got scratch card, and everything. They are not paying their own staffs. And you're making 8,000. But you got people who can survive unless
that they say are hearing about actor, if they are true actor, let me tell you, they will not get me to contend with. Somebody was passing the other time they went to talking. They were talking about it. I said no, they didn't have phone they play. They can't talk about to use it. How to use it?
Now what kind of problem? We want that problem. How much is the money?
So they only one at Jabate.
Let me just tell you, I can't hear for that problem. Jabate say anything. What Jabate problem? Because you're dressing the problem the whole day, you get wet.
Joseph Dean. You know,
you're the medicine, you're the business.
Now the chin trap.
Let me tell you something. Why you would get it back on something? You must, before you tell something, you must understand or understand the conjunction between. You see that?
What you trying? What you trying to say?
What I'm trying to tell you is that normal day the twin tower, yeah, so
yeah, normal day, yeah.
That downco during your day. But when the war comes, what happens? We just seen that people we get there, we say, oh, the twin tower here, they don't go day, and what I do, we take all the crap from the twin tower, and then we carry, we say, oh, we spoil the twin tower. We were looking at that. The how come and when the people come 2006, Meta C, and they signed the contract with the governments of that period. The how they decided to do that thing. And the people spent over 500 million United States money.
What? 500
billion? 500, half a billion. The people spent it just to fit the railroad from Jagapa Mount all the way up in China Post. And I would they have to feed the poor and all. That had the comments say, well, I'm sending you to the team for all. That when you will get the twin track. But now, Metro Steve, and I want to say, oh, when you will get the twin track. And then what they're trying to do now, they're trying to touch the new legislature. So they can open the monopolization. When say monopolization, so we mean every other people can have access to the twin track. So you might not understand something, you start to tell, oh, you
the United NIMA Citizen Council in America, UNICCO for short. And of course, Joyce joined us here tonight on the show as we discuss NIMA politics. CEO, good evening and welcome to the show this evening. How are you doing, Chief?
Thank you. You know, today is an exciting day. I have my own brother, as my as our guest today. So it's going to be interesting. I won't speak for him. He will speak for himself, but I want to say thanks to everyone. We also have D9 TV relaying this live today. So it's Voice of Tapeta, BKS in Butu, and then D9 TV. But before we bring our guests on, I want to say I'm excited.
I think the CEO is having some network problem.
You can hear me?
I'm hearing you now, but you kind of like I don't know why.
I never, yeah,
Okay, but I think it's okay now.
It's okay now. Yeah, I was saying I'm excited. Today
Mhm.
marks a big day for us. Today we hit, like you said, 10,000 marker, 10,000 followers, and we started this just 6 months ago with little under 200 followers. So to go from 200 followers in July and December to hit 10,000 organic follower, I want to say thanks to everyone, the entire team, the panelists, our journalists in Liberia, our followers, those who believe in us, our guests, and I mean everyone who put in the work to get us to where we are. I want to say thank you so much for that. We have more to go. We hit 10,000. Let's shoot for the next 10,000 within the next few months. But it's a great thing. I'm excited today to see the magic number. But again, George is my brother. He's going to be here. We'll have a great conversation. We'll learn a lot from him. He has a vast experience when it comes to NEMA community, so many things. So I won't speak for him. I will let him do his own introduction, and we'll look forward to having a good conversation tonight.
Thank you so much, CEO. We will go for this break, and once we do that, we'll bring our guest on. I think this is a video from him. Yeah, this is to show you that he has been working behind the scene, and we want to appreciate him for being on the show tonight, Mr. George M. Flomo. Let's go for this break. We'll be back. And so, folks, thank you and welcome back to the show this evening. That was Mr. George in the rare side dancing. I don't know why was they looking for. Let's welcome him to the show. Mr. George, good evening and welcome to BKS TV. How are you doing this evening, Chief?
Good evening, Mr. Payne. It's good to be here on BKS. It's good to have an interaction with you guys tonight, my friend.
Well, it's wonderful having you on here. Your portfolio that was sent to me, I must admit I'm impressed. And also the project director for the United NEMA Citizen Council in the US, UNICCO for short. Let's get to know who you are, your name, where you hail from, your professional background, your educational background, and a bit of your family background too as well. Let's start the conversation from there this evening, Chief.
Thank you so much. I've been following BKS for a very long time, and I'm so impressed. I'm very impressed because I see that BKS is in good hands, and I strongly believe that the future of BKS, is going to be incredible. And thanks to my brother, the CEO, Mr. Arvin Seka, who invited me on this show tonight. And, I have seen and I've interacted with him for a very long time, and I know how much he cares about the people of NEMA and just how much he wants to give back to the people of NEMA. Well, my name is Mr. George Flomo. I hail from District Number 2, NEMA County, and I'm just from San Nicolas. My grandfather is from Makinto, just outside of San Nicolas. My maternal grandmother is from Segé. Just pretty much, apparently, my father decided that he was not going to marry way too far, so he went to Segé and marry another girl from there and brought her to Makinto. So that's the kind of connection that we have with the Say people. But like apparently you saw my resume. My resume speaks for for itself. Arvin knows me very well. I have been in the environment. I've engaged with people from different backgrounds. And when it comes to finance, I've worked in various financial institutions here in America, and as well as working with other institutions in Liberia as well. And when it comes to business-wise, my wife and I, we have a nonprofit institution here. It's a for-profit institution that actually employs a lot of Liberians in the diaspora. So pretty much that's the kind of little resume. I don't want to speak so much about myself because tonight is for the people of Liberia, the people of Nimba, and I feel like they have so much to gain from this conversation tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. It looks like our host has some. Okay, he's coming back there. Let's see if we can get him back on there. So, host that's supposed to let me in, I'm letting him in now. You're back, Mr. Host.
Yeah, I think I'm experiencing some technical problem, but I think it's okay now. Are you guys hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. He just gave his background.
Okay, that's great. So, Mr. George, it's good having you on the show here this evening. It's very great having you. D9 TV is relaying the show on D9 TV too as well. Let's start a conversation from UNICCO. I know you want to discuss more of NIMA politics, more of Liberia politics and stuff like that. But let's start from UNICCO, where you serve as project director. What have been some of your major projects so far this year, over the years, especially in Nimba County? Any updates from there?
Tonight I appear on the show as a Nimbadian, not solely representing UNICCO, even though I'm the project director of UNICCO. I'm going to give a little bit of our background on the UNICCO because the conversation here tonight is more about Nimba County because UNICCO conversation has to be approved by the board of directors and also by the national president. But this is not anything that has to do with any like maybe some sort of inner motive. But I do believe that the people of Nimba also wants to know what we have done for them over the years as well. And as a project director of UNICCO, we have done a lot of incredible things. I've had the opportunity to travel outside of Nimba, in fact, of our San Nicola area. I went deep into Nimba County and interacted with people from different diverse backgrounds. I traveled to the entire statutory districts. I went to the various cities in Nimba, and I interacted with the town chief, the elders of the town, and the statutory superintendents. And I had conversation with them. You know, I got to know them personally because I wanted to listen to their story, what they have to offer the Nimba people. And when I came back to Monrovia, I had the opportunity to engage with them to see how we can try to advance the idea of the Nimba One agenda, how we can unite them together, and how we can bring all of them together. So under the auspices of UNICCO as a project director, we are building one of the biggest buildings in Nimba County right now, the Women Empowerment Center that will cost over $250,000, over $250,000. And I'm proud to report, under the auspices of our most dynamic president, the Vice President, Samuel Wilbert G. and Nelson McKay. That building tonight, we have an electricity that came from JEP tonight has been wired into the building, and plastering is ongoing. And we have a lot of great, exciting moments that will be coming up in the next few days. And apart from just implementing that project, we are putting a lot of students on scholarship. When you go to the Nimba universities, the UNICCO family have people on scholarship. And we are also trying to establish a relationship, a sister relationship between universities in the diaspora and the Nimba University, where students will have the opportunity to do student exchange program. And they can come here in the US and learn more things. And then folks from the US will go back into Nimba to learn other things. And one of the things that we are facing, especially difficulties on, is the dormitory. When the superintendent was here, I had a conversation with her. When all the representatives, the senators, including Senator Yan Twain, Senator Samuel Koga, we had this conversation. How can we elevate the life of the students back home? How can we give them the opportunity for them to succeed? These are some of the things that as a project director, I'm working on. And I look forward to engaging with you guys on a very good conversation tonight to see how we can advance UNICCO, and not just about politics. We are tired with politics. Let us go into humanitarian work. Let us do something that will benefit the Irish Libanians or Liberians who will maybe in the future wants to move back home, back to Nimba County to settle there. What opportunities can we give them? And that is something that as a project director, I'm working on day in and day out.
Thank you. Thank you. It looks like our host is having some technical difficulties here, but we will talk about some things here. Like you said, UNICCO, you are not here to represent UNICCO, but on the same time too, we can't divorce you from UNICCO because of your role there. You said something, my dear brother, about one Nimba agenda, and then you tie that to UNICCO. We'll go into details here, but as you know, there's this cliche going around in Nimba about one Nimba agenda. Correct me if I'm wrong. So are you insinuating or saying that you guys were the one that came up with this one Nimba agenda first, tying that to UNICCO before the whole political back and forth with this one Nimba agenda came about?
Well, when thank you, CEO. When when Samuel Wabeji took over UNICCO, the goal is to bring Nimbadians under one umbrella. That was his goal. That we should encourage more people to come under one umbrella. And you are seeing the history. Whether it is folks who broke away from UNICCO over the years, they were not successful because they wanted to do an independent stuff. But when we come under one umbrella, when we have a focused agenda, that we believe that as Nibanians, we have to come together as brothers and sisters, no matter how much we disagree with one another, we should still be able to come to the tables as brothers and sisters to have a conversation. And that was the goal of Samuel Wabeji, that even though we disagree with one another, can we come together at the end of the day? So the one Nimba agenda, I believe, whether it is on the late Senator Johnson,
yeah.
whether it is the late, Dole, all these folks, I believe that they still believe that Nimba County, we have to be united. We need to be united as a caucus so that when we speak with one voice. So that when we come together, people respect us. But when we have a divided opinion, and I believe what the vice president said before, and I really admire his words. He said, right now, everybody are doing their own stuff. At the end of the day, when the ball bounces, we will come to the center and have a conversation to see where we have to go. So I believe in the one Nimba agenda, and I do believe that at the end of the day, CEO, we will have the agenda that our generation, I want my kids to go to Nimba and be welcome because they are from the lineage of a Nimbadian. Right. So I want that one Nimba agenda. I want folks to believe that Nimba County is the very common denominator. Whatever we are fighting for today, it is because of Nimba. The $250,000 project that we are implementing in Nimba today, it is because of Nimbanians. So we need to have that one Nimba agenda for us to succeed. And that's the goal.
Thank you. Thank you, Gian. You still there? I was about to take over.
Yeah, you can jump in there, CEO.
Yeah, okay.
I think they maybe the guest network is giving problem because
it's from you. It's from you. Oh, I can hear. Yeah, the guys and myself we're having our regular conversation.
Our current can go here.
Our current can go here.
You know, As I talk about African unity, China.
With the work that you're doing in Liberia, what you guys are doing in Liberia, and I also, as you know, I do a lot of work there too. What would you say is the most, let's say, the urgent, the most dire need when it comes to giving back, when it comes to community service job, when it comes to anything apart from politics? What would be the major thing that we as leaders, both in the diaspora and Liberia, need to focus on more when it comes to youth empowerment, giving back to our community, something that we need to press on more now?
Thank you, CEO. I believe that I always say this when I go back on the drawing board and trying to strategize on what we need to give back, what we need to do to give back to the community, and how we can all give back to the community. I believe that tapping into the knowledge of the next generation of leaders, especially the young folks who are coming up, right? Patriotism matters more to me than just folks who, I see folks on social media all the time. They wake up every day, they are serving in government, holding strategic position in the government, right? And they wake up every day and their only job description is to post the vice president and the president and sing praise and worship to them every day. CEO, I want productivity. I want folks who can deliver, because the vice president or the president, they are going to be proud of your work because you are serving the community and you are delivering to the community, because your work will speak in the community. Not because you're posting a VP, therefore you are working. No, your work should speak for itself. And that is called, that is something called bluffing in the midst of poverty, because the Irish people that you serve every day, they are struggling. These folks are struggling. They cannot even make ends meet, right? You are serving as a minister for agriculture, but you are not actually doing the basic necessities to bring competition among counties. To see, even every year, let's say, for example, can all these counties have a competition, right? Nima County, you are well known for producing cassava and then making GB. How much cassava can you produce that could potentially turn into maybe other stuff? Or maybe Grand Bassa County, you can do all the other stuff. Can we have a competition? The most county that will do a produce, maybe the government can reward them for their services so that we can tap more into agriculture. And when it comes to education, one of the things that I'm telling you, CEO, is that majority of the things that are happening, our failures today, is lack of education. Folks we are not putting a lot of resources into the upcoming generation, right? Today, there was a $1.some billion budget that the government is somehow kind of harassing with. And I saw that they were at a cabinet meeting today, and all of them agreed that, you know what, we are going to implement the $1.5 billion. But guess what was their first common denominator? That we are going to invest into hiring. So if you put almost 90% of the resources into just salary and expenditure, what happens to education? What happens to to agriculture? What happened to basic necessities? There are kids in places that can't play, who barely even have like a playground for them to play. There is no safe drinking water. But there are folks who are in Monrovia, and they are getting all these fat salaries, but the people back home are getting the bare minimum. That is not investing into resources. And I believe that investing into human capitals matters to me more than just people taking fat salaries home, or just employing people who are not delivering. And their only job description is wake up in the morning and post the vice president and post the president and sing praise and worship to them. Because I know that the VP is doing an excellent job. He's not looking for praise and worship. Do your job and represent the Liberian people. And that's all we are asking. So investing into capital matters more to me than just being nonchalant, just walking around and acting like wearing a coat suit and then you feel like you are actually contributing to society. You are not. You are selling the Liberian people short.
Yeah, great point. You know, that's why I'm really excited about this conversation. It's more of like one-on-one with the CEO, you know, one-on-one. George Flomo, his brother Alvin Seka on their one-on-one BKS TV. But you made a great point. I think our past leadership and the current leadership, they are all letting our future generation down. You talked about education, you know, investing more into education. People, unfortunately, some people in our community in Liberia think when they say education, it's all about, you know, getting a degree in political science and stuff like that. I went to Liberia one time. One guy that I used to work with, this guy was a multi-millionaire. And this guy was just a high school graduate, right? And he was a peak director at Capital Group back then, right? He's retired now. So when he and I went to Butuo, we were working on some things, talking about giving tuition assistance to students at Nima Community College. The list of students that came, their majors, I mean, all political science, this and that. And he called me, he said, Alvin, I've noticed something. I mean, you guys lack technical education here. Most people are not focusing on that. So in short, most people in Liberia tend to overlook the importance of technical vocational education in Liberia. And I think our government also is also, you know, helping when it comes to that. They're not investing a lot of money into technical education or vocational school. Human capital, like you talk about investing into it with the whole budget thing. I personally think that you can add to that. I think our country, our leadership need to really, really focus more on the type of education that our students are getting. You know, nothing wrong with having your bachelor's degree in political science or anything, but there has to be more emphasis or some emphasis placed on technical and vocational education. What do you say about that? What's your say on that?
Yeah, CEO, I was deep in grade the other time. I was there meeting with students from different diverse background. There were two students who came to me, two beautiful kids, girls. Or they came to me and they said that, Uncle, the only thing I want you for you to do for me, can you just buy me a shoes because I want to wear shoes to go to school. Tonight, I borrowed my mom's shoes, and I know when I get home, she's gonna beat me for it because I refuse to wear the dirty shoes that I have.
Mm-hmm.
These are kids who really want to learn. These are kids who they're just looking for the bare minimum to get by, right? They are not looking for millions of dollars for them to achieve their own potential. They are just looking for the basic necessities. If we want to invest into quality education, vocational institution, and that is one thing that the UNICCO family in the diaspora, the entire Nimbanians in the diaspora, they are doing. Now, let us invest into vocational institution. The Women Empowerment Center, the 250,000 Women Empowerment Center that is currently ongoing in Domapa, today is going to host folks from diverse backgrounds. Whether you are going to be doing tailoring, whether you are going to be doing just basic necessities, right? That home, that UNICCO village will host you. That village will host you. And that village will give you the opportunity for you to achieve maximum potential. And that's what we are doing. And if folks who are contributing towards that building, some of these folks are retired here in America. They are getting the bare minimum from Social Security. They are just contributing, making all the sacrifices for them to get, for that women empowerment to get to where it is today. Because they also wants to give back. You don't have to be in power or position to give back to the community. Right. You can still be an humanitarian and still give back to the community. And that is one thing that folks kind of, not really take into consideration, because even those who in the diaspora, if I go back home tonight, CEO, because George is home tonight, and George is the president director of UNICCO, the first thing that will come to the minds of the ordinary people back home would be, George wants to run for power or position.
I get that every time. I get that all the time.
All the time. George wants to run for office. George wants to do that. But they will now also understand that George is an employer. George is actually employing people here in the diaspora. George is doing this. George is doing that. Right? Because we just believe that we want to give back. When the vice president was here the other time, I had a conversation with the VP and told the VP clearly. And the VP promised that he was going to do something for the Women Empowerment Center. And I know that when folks travel or leave the US or the diaspora, sometimes the agenda gets full. But I admire the VP so much because he's a guy that is, he's a big brother to me that is so down to earth. When I met him in Philadelphia, we had a one-on-one conversation. Very respectful person that I was not expecting the kind of, reception that I got from him. All his lieutenants that were behind, they were all respectful. And I believe that if the diaspora citizens are doing something out of their pocket from the diaspora, from the US, and some of them, their paycheck going towards this project, the least thing that we also expect from county administration is to make us part of the decision-making process. It is just something so little to ask for.
Thank you. Welcome to the platform as usual, Cyrus. Today we are hosting my brother George. I think you read about him there. I have been having discussion with him when it comes to the humanitarian part. So you guys are the politicians, and I'm glad that you're here now because as time goes by, we'll switch towards Nema County and then ask. In fact, I will just start from there before we go to Cyrus here. George, I know things have been going, on in Liberia, in Nema County. You're my brother. I follow your post. You have a stand on most of those things that have been going on when it comes to leadership, when it comes to the little disagreement between the senators and the senator Honorable Koga and you have this relationship with the VP you just described here. What would be your assessment? I mean, in maybe one or two sentences there, what would be your assessment of the VP since he took over, since PYJ passed, Nema County as it stands now, comparing that to Nema County that you knew before, the future of Nema County when it comes to the political movement, how you think Nema stands now? Do you think we still have the same Nema? We have a stronger Nema now than before, or we have more challenges than before? What's your take on that? What's your say on that?
Thank you, CEO. I believe that Nema is strong more than ever before. And I do believe that in every era, like generations, we have our own shortcomings, right? And I still believe that no matter how much we disagree with one another, like I told you about the VP, a very humble person, a very humble servant, very down-to-earth person. And Honorable Samuel Koga, people are underestimating, the Honorable Samuel Koga. I have dined with him in the same bowl. I met Honorable Koga in Minnesota, and I had a conversation with him. Very down-to-earth person. So the two people, they are just so unique. Very, very unique. And I believe that, like I told you earlier, CEO, when the ball bounced, we were gathered in the cycle. And everything that is going on right now is going to always happen. But the one Nema agenda is our goal. And I believe that the VP will bring everybody on the table for discussion. And I still believe that. And I'm still in conversation with the VP's office. There are folks in the VP office that I still communicate with, and just give them some, some pointers that, we have to do this, we have to do that. You don't have to implement my pointers, but I do believe that for Nema to be successful, we cannot be divided. For Nema to be successful, we need to be united, because we are the only county that better produce any presidential candidate, right?
Yeah.
Even though we have the resources, We have the manpower, but we are still struggling. So at the end of the day, I believe 100% CEO that we need to have the one NIMBA agenda. And this is my personal view. And I will give that disclaimer tonight. It's not UNICCO's view, even though I'm the project director of UNICCO. It's not UNICCO's view. This is my personal view as Nimbanian. I can tell you that the VP, he's doing a great job, but he will have to do more to bring other folks on board. Look at my own big sister, Ida Gonglowe. You know, it is time that the VPs try to clean his backyard to bring these people on board. You know, Honorable Koga could be a little bit disappointed tonight, or maybe the last few weeks, he might be disappointed. But I believe that he still means well for Nima County. We can't kick these people out. Look at Chairman Ability, Musa Ability. I believe that Musa Ability is one of the most industrial citizens of Nima County with all his development. I have been to Seclepied. I have seen, in fact, Musa Ability was one of the few representatives who stood with us when we went to Seclepied. He and Samia Koga, they were with us throughout the night when we took UNICCO march for homecoming. Musa Belede and in fact, Chairman Musa Belede and the Honorable Samia Koga were the only representative that night with us. So I believe that all of them mean well for the organization, for Nimba County. But we just have to come together and have a conversation so that we cannot be talking over one another.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I have more questions for you. I will pause here for now. And then Cyrus, if you have your 2 questions, you can ask our brother, our guest. If not, you can make your statement and then we'll continue.
Yeah, thank you, CEO. Good evening to Mr. Judge Flomo, and good evening to Comrade Junior, as well as you, CEO, and everyone following the show. I listened to the senior brother. I don't have question at the moment, but I just want to make a brief statement. You know, CEO, this thing about politics, like I said the other time, I've made a definitive decision to stay back from politics, even though when we are on the show, when political questions are raised, we will respond, we will give our contribution and all of that. But you know, the way we were involved, I could make political posts almost every day and things. The real thing about myself, you know, I will contest in the future, but at this point to be supporting people, to be combative as I used to be, you know, fight for people and all of that. I'm trying to work on some of these things to focus on my career, you know, to think about bigger opportunity. Mind you, the game is not the way people see it. There are people who overlook politics. They don't take things personal. They don't, you know, when you disagree with them, you know, they don't hold that against you. But the country we come from is such a different country. Trust me, you can have PhD. If you go to Nimba to get job in Liberia, you must align with somebody. You must join a political process, you know, for people to use you from radio station to another. And if you don't do that, you will not have the chance to serve. So as I sit here, I'm thinking about how to make life, how to restart, how to begin life in a different form, to, you know, to be a vibrant young person that will contribute to society through different means instead of politics. And I even plan not to make comment on any political related stuff, but Koga is still involved. And as long as Koga is involved, then we will still be around, you know, even though for me, I don't think I'll be posting political thing on my page again, you know, but as long as Koga, you know, the thing about him, people don't understand. Nimba is a county that has mixed tribes, and Koga's contribution in Nimba, a personal contribution. Most of the time, you hear people talking about money. He doesn't have money, this and that. Koga is not rich because Koga is good. Koga is the only politician from Nimba who is really honest about helping young people. If Koga wants to help, he does not wait for election. That electioneering hell, when elections are around, you see politicians, you know, flowing here and there, giving young people sense and things. That's the unique thing about Koga that I know. So for me personally, in as much as I'm not too interested anymore, I feel indebted to him, and when people attack him, it hurts me. And the big brother said, Nimba needs to come together, and the person who will champion the cause is the vice president. You know, he has the honors to champion the cause to bring our people together. The same question he asked about Edith, I'm so concerned about the madam. And the sickening part of our politics in Nimba is people keep reminding leaders about negative things that happened in the past. People keep creating that scenario. They keep making Kun to think that he and Edith are actually fighting. For how long would they continue to fight this innocent woman? After election, I had thought they they were even going to engage the president and say, Mr. President, this woman is educated. She has the credential. She's qualified to serve. Why can't they go to even lobby in her accent to say, oh, big sister, we want to send you somewhere as minister? You think she will reject us? She will say, oh, I will oppose you, I will reject it. She will not. But the guys around the VP, they keep, you know, echoing, re-echoing that bitterness. This other person is against you. This other person, no matter what you do on earth, this person will not want to support you. The toxicity in Nimba now, where people don't speak to each other, that's the root. That's the root. People will call to the VP and say, Garrison Yellow hates you. Samuel Koga wants to undermine you. And they go on Facebook. I mean, most of you can see Wugbe and other guys post. Wugbe is supposed to even be attacking people that Koga on Facebook. But you see them doing these things. And the hypocrisy is that when people insult Koga, people who support Kun, they call them intellectuals. Once you are very disgruntled, you are rude to Koga and other opposition guys, they call them intellectuals. They say, oh, that guy is intellectual, that guy can write. But if people try to do the same thing to the VP, then you are enemy to Nimba. That's where we are. And it's discouraging. But people, Josh, I don't know you. It's an opportunity to interact with you tonight. UNICCO is doing well for Nimba. UNICCO is actually, you know, improving the living standard of our people. UNICCO contribution towards Nimba will never go unnoticed. But I think when UNICCO is having program, I think it will be better for people like you to begin to advocate instead of just sending for elected people in elected positions or people who have, you know, governmental position. I think you need to sometimes reach out to the student community. Those of us who are honestly, you know, striving to get there, at least you can see how best you can open opportunity for us to sometimes you attend some of the programs, the UNICCO programs. I think if that opportunity is created, it will give our opener to most of the young people in Nimba. UNICCO is actually doing well for our country, and we wholeheartedly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's the beauty of BKS TV. We connect people. Sometimes we settle disputes on here between the Malians, folks who have some issues. we settle issues between them here and stuff like that. So yeah, George, as we were saying, empowerment of young people. This young man is saying exactly what you and I were just talking about. So I will let you speak to that. But also, before you speak to that, I have questions for you. Talking about one NEMA agenda and the future of NEMA. I mean, there's no way we can turn blind eye on what's happening now. It's real issue. You even pointed something out about Madame Gonglo way, and then you have top stakeholders in my country that are not happy. I can list the name, Honorable Yonkwe, Garrison, Wardier, Sultan Titus. The list goes on and on and on. These are major stakeholders when it comes to Nima County. You can't rule them out. All these people are not happy with what's going on now. As you said, the VP, great person, he's doing his work. But I think as a leader, the responsibility falls on you. In leadership, as you know, you're a project director, and something's happening with your project over there, then I'm going to go to the president and say, oh, what happened? They will go through you first. Say, Mr. Project Director, what happened to the fund that we sent here? What happened here? And you as a leader, it's your responsibility to make sure and put things together. The county is noisy. Nima County is noisy. And if it continues that way for too long, the damage might be too much and it will be very hard to repair before 2029. I still believe in one Nima. I still believe we'll come together, but it's getting to the point where it's looking ugly. They had their GB rally not too long ago, and we saw the turn. We saw what happened. There are other. We broke the news. We talked about it. We covered it. And I personally, when I came on here, I was critical. I kept saying that the attendance spoke volumes. And then from there, we have people that came on here who are unity partisans, like Prentice and other guys who came and buttressed that and said, people were protesting silently. I think the VP and other leaders, Senator Twain, Senator Koga, and everyone else have to do something to come together. And the onus is on the VP to bring those people together now, sooner or later. And if not, including honorability, it might not be too good for us as time come along.
Yeah, that is so true, CEO. But one thing I will also say is we are not really immune to mistakes. Mm-hmm. There has been time in our histories where we have been gravely divided, but by the end of the day, we always come together as one Libanian, mm-hmm. right? And I strongly believe that before 2029, we will have a consensus. And one thing that I will pray for is that no matter how much we disagree with one another, mm-hmm. how much we criticize one another, we should always do it with the level of respect that we have for one another. And the VP, people are currently shifting most of these things on the VP. But I still believe that the VP is a very decent man. And I still believe that before 2029, we will come together. In fact, I just had a conversation with my big sister, Ide, just this one weekend. We had a very good conversation. In fact, she called me all the time for, just for other stuff, right? And I still believe that she has nothing against anybody in Nimba County. The only thing she's looking for, that recognition, that people call her to do stuff. That is the only thing that she's looking for. And she's a very decent person. Look at folks like Koga. Koga is not somebody that can easily bang backward. Mm. So people like them, when you are dealing with them, you got to be nurturing to bring them on board, right? So I believe that Nimba County, we are at a very crossroad right now. With not having Prince Johnson, the late Senator Johnson, I believe that we are at a point that we need to take a break and have a recess and believe, and then come back together and believe that the only thing we have in common is our county. Because take, for example, CEO, One of the reasons why our resources have been depleted today and we are not really benefiting substantially is because we are not united. It's because we are not united. From the time from the time Asala Matar took over, you can believe that they literally brought in over $1.2 billion into their own revenue. 1.2 billion. Guess what Nima County benefited from that 1.2 billion? In fact, Liberia as a whole, because they were giving Nima chicken change. In fact, the previous administration was actually owing Nibanians some of these investment stuff. So Liberia actually got about out of that 1 point some more billion dollar, we were only able to average about 1.38 million. Just imagine how we are selling the county short, because we don't want to speak with one voice. So I believe for us to be successful, I'm coming from a place where these mining areas are happening. Tokate, my grandfathers are from Makento. Tokate is literally right over Makento. Sege is right over Makento. Just right over that places is where most of the mining stuff happening. But guess what is happening today, CEO? Because we believe that everybody knows so much and we don't want to come together as a team, these people are taking advantage of our resources. So I believe that the VP should have a moment of reflection, as well as all of us should have a moment of reflection. What is our common denominator? What do we fight for? What are we fighting for? Because if our forefathers were so selfish, they could have given that money to the Guineans, all these resources to folks who comes from Guinea. But our forefathers believe that these resources, these natural resources, will eventually benefit other people. So that's why they fought for it so long. So I believe that today, our generation should believe that we should come together and fight for the common denominator, which is Nima County. No matter how much we disagree, no matter how much we insult each other, but we should know that we are fighting for a common good, and that is Nima.
Thank you. And Sarah, I'm going to come to you here shortly when it comes to, we will talk about the code of conduct and the president new release about, government work and not going up. But anyway, George, I got a question for you. For me, I come from a school of thought where, you are a leader. We respect you. I admire your leadership and everything, but I still have to hold you accountable, ask you tough questions. And that's how changes come into play. We elected them, our people, the old lady that in, second power, wherever, or the other affected communities over there, they send us to school, to go to school, to learn and be able to fight for them. Our fathers, our forefathers, all those people did the same thing. We elected those people. They are our leaders. They owe us. They owe those people to be able to hold all those other guys accountable. I have tried to stay away from the whole advocacy when it comes to what Senator Twine, has been doing. I've tried reaching out to him a couple of times to appear here, but he has not done so. But our fair share is not being given to us because our leaders are not advocating for us from a good faith background. The settlement I think you talked about, there's so many things, so many dark hands, so many things in there that they are not saying. They're not coming. The MDA, they said he was pushing for it, that it was not going to be signed. Every one of us admire him. I was one of the biggest supporters. I was always under his post, commenting and stuff like that. He has gone quiet. The MDA has not been signed. $200 million within the budget. So one sign-on bonus that comes from the settlement is within that proposed budget. And then the budget is now in the Senate. They're talking about it, doing all that one. But no one knows where the NDA is. No one knows if the NDA has been signed or not. So I think our leaders are not doing our people any good. We also have to hold them accountable. And when I come on the show, I always try to balance it, but I think our leaders have not been doing the right thing in terms of speaking out for. They all have their own agenda. So while we all believe in Nima, while we all hail Nima as our common denominator, we can all those things can happen at the same time. They are not mutually exclusive. We can admire our leaders, we praise them, they say they do all the good things, we say yes to that, but we can also be on the side and say to them, these things are not right. These things, and that's the problem we have in our country. The people you are the people are referring to, some people will see the wrong thing and they will not say it. They will not come and say it. You have to say the right thing to your leaders. And I've noticed that most people don't like that. Take for example, right, Georgie? This guy, I don't know how to say his name. I think his name on Facebook is Manja Abdullah Kiatamba, right? He made a post just recently where he stated that they conducted a survey, a private, survey in 5 counties across the country. And from what they gather, people are not happy with the government, the way things are going now. And if the bread and butter issues are not addressed immediately, 2026, people will start to, voice out their dissatisfaction, and we can see it now. So I still think that, the VP, our leadership, the senators, all those people have to start doing things to be able to look after the people. Right after election in Liberia or Georgia, people forget about the people that they elected them. They start thinking about the next election. Right now, when you go in Liberia, you talk to they're all talking about 2029. 2029, whenever you say we got to do them on 2029, still far. Doing all those things, building, raising funds for party headquarters across the country, and all that, forgetting about the people that voted for them when it comes to the bread and butter issue. I still think they have more to do. If not, it's going to be something where people may not be happy. Come the 2029 you're talking about. I'll let you speak to that before I go to Cyrus, because I have questions about the code of conduct thing that we discussed yesterday with Honorable Yilu, and then the president spoke about that today.
Yeah, thanks, CEO. One of the things that you mentioned was the issue of our Senator Yang Twain elevating the idea of the correct concession or whatever that is happening, or how we are holding leaders accountable. And I believe when you go back to history in the Senate, I believe that Senator Yang Twain has been the only person who has already read the concession agreement. Since Asala Meta really signed the concession agreement, Yang Twain has been the only senator in that Senate who has really gone thoroughly into that agreement to really see where they are selling us short. Where Salameta has been selling us short. And he has been the only person who has been elevating some of this stuff, right? Or do we still have more to do? Absolutely, yes. We still have, because we still have folks in the Cape that are still sleeping in containers. There is no safe drinking water. Even in my own village, Makinto, there is no safe drinking water for them, right? There is no safe drinking water for the people of Sege. So we still have more to hold these folks accountable of. When you talk about folks not happy in this current economy, brother, I can tell you that even my daughter in San Nicolas is not happy. My daughter is not happy. Folks are struggling. Folks are struggling every day to make ends meet, right? Because if you have ministers, directors, and folks who feel like they are the privileged few who are entitled to opportunities, that is dangerous to our economy. Right. Because to invest into the economy, you have to invest into the Irish Liberians. Because your benefit will have to be shown through the life of your constituents. I see people dividing back of rice during election time, or giving them a bundle of zinc, or giving them bites. These are temporary stuff. We are talking about long-term goal. If you have a plan in within your district, your constituents should have a long-term goal. What can you do for them in the next 5 or 10 years? I'm an employer. Before the year ends, I should come up with a specific proposal for the next 5 or 10 years, right? What I need to achieve, what my team will have to achieve, what my business will have to achieve, right, in the next 10 or 5 years. So these are some of the strategy that I believe that as a director, you don't have to wait for the VP or the president to say, this is what we're going to be doing in 2026. In your place, you should bring up an idea to your maybe minister. Say, you know what? This is the kind of proposal I'm going to bring on the table for discussion, so that that proposal will benefit your people. You have, and then one of the things, CEO, that I believe, and this is not in disrespect to elected officials of Liberia, I believe that we are selling each other short.
Right.
Because when it comes to legislation, a legislator is not somebody who will be elected based on empathy, right? You should be electing somebody with the knowledge, the experience, and that's why most of them end up being more of giving than actually drafting legislation, because they believe that the only thing that they can give back to their constituents is to give them a few bags of rice. Then they have done so much, right? But if we have folks who actually go back and read the Constitution and define their roles and responsibility on what the legislation is, I believe that their constituents will even benefit from them in their argument into the House of Representatives and into the House of Senate than giving them back a rights. Because whatever that you draft will eventually be passed into law. And these things will benefit your constituents in the long run. And that is something that I believe that they should be shifting their focus on. But because they believe that the only way they can get the voters is to give them back a rights, and that's why our county or our community is very undeveloped, because they believe that they will give them food, and in the next election they will vote for them because it's a short-term goal, but not really a long-term goal. So I'm just praying that when these things are happening, and one of the things that, because UNICCO, for us, we will believe that, you know what, let's go to Saclavia today, let's go give them 100 bags of rice, right? Or let's go to Loguatu and go give them some 100 bags of rice. They will eat that food and forget that we just give them food. But if we build the Women Empowerment Center, where that place is eventually going to be, in fact, will become like a hub for education, for basic necessities, that place will empower a lot of other generations to come tomorrow. And that's what we need to do, empower the locals so that they can fish for themselves. Instead of us giving them fish, let them go and fish for themselves.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think UNICCO, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe this may be outside of your purview there. UNICCO has some statement or about the deal, the MDA, the settlement deal. And I think the president has a stand. I would love to hear that take and hear you guys' official take on the whole deal there. But I still think, Senator Twanya is going to sign, he's going to fall for it, he's going to eventually sign whatever is in there. Because remember now, he's a UP guy, and we don't even know where the MD is, but now it's part of the budget that they have something there, and we don't know where it's at. So I think he's going to fall for it. He's going to sign it at the end of the day. That's why he's no longer speaking.
Well, CEO, when it comes to that whole MDA stuff, for Nima County to be benefiting from the Social Development Fund, the County Development Fund, it was through the instrumentality of UNICCO in the diaspora.
Right. Yeah.
It was through the instrumentality of UNICCO in the diaspora, because we had a whole Ellen Jones Salif to the fire. We had to the fire that Nibarians deserve better. In fact, she sent delegates from Liberia to go to New York to meet with UNICCO delegates so that they can negotiate on the social and county development funds. And that's why when they are making these decisions without in consultation with the diaspora and Nibarians, I feel like they are only doing that. Some of them are doing that, not all of them. Some of them are doing that because they feel intimidated by the presence of the newcomers or folks who just want to give all the knowledge. That this is what I believe we deserve. But UNICCO as a whole, I believe that UNICCO is a very vibrant institution here in the diaspora because we have had a lot of leaders, former leaders accountable. And we have done that before. And we continue to do that. In fact, Prince Johnson, this Senator Johnson's funeral, UNICCO made one of the biggest contribution. Okay, so if you only identify us or you only gravitate towards us in moments of maybe your shortcomings and not in moments where we demand decision, because UNICCO should also have a representation on the county settings.
So I think there's just so much things that are not done there, right? But Cyrus, real quick there, Cyrus, we had this conversation just I think 2 days now in a row when they had their GB rally, and then when Honorable Yelu came yesterday about the code of conduct, where you even raised the point that they were violating the code of conduct. Today, there was this release out there where UP is now, warning all government officials, telling them to not use government property, government vehicle, and stuff like that to go for the December 6th rally. You think it's because of the noise or the checkpoint or the alarm that has been blown in the media that made them to do that, or you think it was something that they had planned before? And then George, I'll come to you on that too.
Well, thank you, CEO. So, based on the experience of the president, his supposed experience, during the election, we could always hear that the president is so experienced, and that placed him in an advantageous position over George Weah. People say he's experienced. I thought we should not even be talking about Unity Party issuing statement that they should not go there with government vehicles. It is used to them. They have been doing that. You know why they did that? They did that to have sentiment from the public that whoever is going to use government property to attend that program, they will say, but the government send a caveat, and if somebody's in violation, and who will carry that person to court? That's the whole thing. You remember, I think 3 months ago, the ombudsman that was set up because the code of conduct, there is no code for it. So the ombudsman is like the quasi-judicial body. When people are in violation, they're where they can be called to order. But then, I think 3 months ago, the ombudsman published about 50 of them who are in violation for failing to declare their assets, and people who still hold on political positions. Mo Ali, Amos Toure, the big guys in the UP. So they sent a list to the president. Have you ever heard something about it as an outcome? You will not hear anything such. Big brother, UNICCO, it's good to have our UNICCO big brother on the show tonight. Yeah, there's an adage I say, he who feeds controls. He who feeds you controls you. UNICCO is feeding NIMBA, and UNICCO should not be excluded from decisions that affect NIMBA. UNICCO, if I have the opportunity to attend one of their programs one of these days, I will make a recommendation to the leadership for UNICCO to train people, to train young people, independent young people who will create awarenesses across the entire districts in Nimba to ensure that the voter change their voting pattern and to change their mindset. You know how the Libyans vote? As somebody think he just listed bag of rice, motorbikes, paying people hospital bill, just all sort of things that don't matter. So because of those, you can be so compelled to elect somebody who you even know within yourself he or she is not qualified. With no disrespect to any of our lawmakers, the legislature is supposed to be for prepared people, people who are academically schooled, people who understand the workings of the legislature. But today, there are people that just go to NIMBA. If he goes to NIMBA, even if he has PhD, and if he presents himself like a policy-driven person who is principle-minded, and he refuses to give handouts, people will say that man, I want a book man in a place that will not vote for that kind of man. He's selfish. He's this.
Amen.
That's a content. So now people bow their way. People who are not even supposed to be near the legislature, they bow their way. Like the last time when we were creating law, because I think you were here when I said Saint Brown should not be in the legislature. Saint Brown does not deserve being there. The lawmaker of District Number 8, or say Miana, should not be around there. A lot of them from Nimba. You know, do you know that Nimba is one of the counties that always in the business of electing people who are not qualified to serve? Oh yes. And if UNICCO steps in by creating awareness through, young people, to even the media should get involved. The media should get involved to educate our people far ahead of election. 2029 is coming. Mind you, in my district today, the guys I know that campaign, they starting or whatever they call it, I think they distributed about 17 motorbikes. Those gentlemen who received those bikes, trust me, they are just clear vote. That's how the thing looks. A clear vote. They didn't get time for the lawmakers distributing by whether or not this man is corrupt, whether or not this man is not even delivering, they will not do. The Unity Party thing you asked about, they started this government from the very inception. They started violating all of the laws in the country, and I believe they will end that way. They will end it like that. Probably you don't want to get the MCC school card. The code of conduct that the president is saying people should not do this now today, the very code of conduct, section 10.2 of that same code of conduct say before the president, the vice president, and even appointed officials take office, they must declare their assets. Before the code of conduct didn't say you should be in position before you declare. But what did the president do? The president was president for 3 months until he declared 3 months later. So the president was not set. So everybody, as we speak, most of them have not even declared their assets. So you respect the president who is not even respecting the very statutory law. You respect his officials, you respect the same law. That's the problem. The Constitution, the code of conduct enumerates too many things about political activities, but people focus only on campaign.
Yeah.
They're focused only on campaign, and they will come and justify the code of conduct talking about campaign. No, the code of conduct said, one of the clauses said you should not, as an official of government, you should not hold active position in a political party. Amos Toy is still the SG for Unity Party. That's one of the clauses. Another clause says you should not even wear political regalia. But today you listen to the president when he said they should not go there with government vehicles and all of that. But again, there's a saying that people use in the country, they say like bread will not burn. Like bread will not burn. And to the people raised about Honorable Yan Twanyen. Chamber, let me remind you, apparently you did not follow, but Yan is not advocating because he is doing it for Nimba. He's not doing it for Nimba. He's not preaching against mental at this stage because he loves our people, because he loves the affected community. No. Yan is doing that smartly just to entice our people to take advantage of our desperate masses. You know what? I will send tomorrow. I will send a CEO a clip of Yan, the same Yan Twanyen, when Yan in 2015 when the Zolowi and other affected communities, young people from there gathered, they protested against that highway, so Mita cannot make any tribal. You know who United Party used against our people, and he called their names. Nimba people are hooligans. The buyers are not civilized. They don't know how to approach things. All of the conditions that led the young people to protesting, for which Yan criticized, all of the conditions still exist today. Oh yes, Yan is on. I have a recording. It's on YouTube. Yan is on tape. He insulted our people. He didn't only blast. He insulted our people. He called their names only because the people went and protested in their own defense.
Thank you.
Thank you. But all the conditions remain the same. So all of a sudden you see the scene here, because now he's saying the Senate, and he has tested what power is, and he wants to maintain it. Then he played that card to make it look like he's defending the people. But the same thing you just go against, and the conditions remain the same. Nothing has changed. The same meter we're talking about. So the NICCO need to play this role to educate the voters, to open their mind, to forget about the beggar rights things. Other than that, you'll still be sending money to us in the African continent.
Thank you. And I want to welcome Dr. Flule. I want more doctor and make it Dr. Flule.
No, the one data is okay, CEO.
No, I want with that, but welcome to the show. George is our guest tonight, so I know you coming on here to make a point on regarding the yarn thing there. But before we go to you, let's get to our guest and see what he got to say. If he has anything to add, I know he's been here for 1 hour and 41 minutes now, so we'll soon be taking leave of him.
Yeah, I would definitely send the bill to BKS TV tonight.
Look at your usually
So, but let's go to the point here. Cyrus, you nail a couple of good parts here, especially when it comes to when people have to speak, when the moments demand, and I believe that is where Yan is coming from. When that moments demands that we have to speak up, right? And even though Yan may have said something in the past, but I believe that this is the moment that in the era of maybe electronic devices, people can read on their phone, people know exactly what is right. In fact, I have sent a couple of articles. Author Yan has posted these articles, or Senator Twine, for the sake of of his office. I have sent him a couple of articles. And he had gone through these articles, and he had responded to me, some of these articles. So I believe that he is genuine about his concerns for Nimbanians. Now, if he signs on the concession agreement that we believe it is not in the interest of the Nimba people, then we will have to come in. But I'm going to also speak that I'm not speaking for UNICCO tonight. I just want to be very clear on that. I'm not speaking for UNICCO, but as an Nimbadian. But I believe, Cyrus, if we all disagree, there are policies that sometimes we draft, right? There are policies that sometimes we believe that it is in the interest of our people. When you talk about Zlowy, I live in Zlowy. I spent almost half of my adult life in that place. Very nice place. They had a pipe-borne water. There was water coming from, they had their own pump, water supplying the city. I would call Zlowy a city, right? And there were folks, water was coming, a really nice water. But now, since that whole mining started to take place, their safe drinking water has gone completely yellow. They don't have a safe drinking water anymore, right? So if we are advocating for take for example, when you go to deep into Macanto, there is no safe drinking water. So if these things, Yan was in Ikepa the other day, and he saw that the Irish Nimbanian are actually sleeping in the continuum, and he's elevating this conversation. I believe that I will gravitate towards this conversation so that we can tap into it more, and folks can hear the side of our story that you have been selling us short, even though folks have swept these things on the raw. But it is now time for us to address it. And if he signs on the concession agreement that will be shortchanging us, we will have to hold him accountable. And I believe that he's on the book for it. and we will hold him accountable. As a Nibanian, I will hold me accountable because I have his personal conversation. In fact, telephone him on the speed dial, and I text him all the time, and he responds to that. So I believe that Yan, at this point, he means well for us, and we will disagree strongly. And I know that some of these things that has happened. I met with him in his hotel room in Minnesota, and we had a conversation. And he told me exactly what he stands for, and I will take him for that until he proves otherwise. Until then, I will continue to believe that it is now time to hold these concessionaires accountable for what they are doing to us, especially in Nima County. They are ripping the resources off. We are not benefiting from anything. Our kids are not in school in a decent education environment. You cannot just say you are building institution or building education, and you cannot give them conducive environment to learn. Look at Nima University. Up to now, they don't even have a decent bus for them to be busing their students to school, right? They don't even have a dormitory for kids to be staying at. The last time our UNICCO president, Samuel G, had to go to Sinclair University because we wanted to do the student exchange program, right? And the only thing that we got shut off was Nimba University never had a dormitory because students from here wanted to go to Nimba to stay there and then do some kind of share environment in that place. But the only thing we were lacking of was the dormitory. So these are things that I believe we should be discussing. These are things that I believe. Look at recreational activities. UNICCO is about to build another park in Conflict. Park in Conflict that will actually give recreational environment to the people within our area. So these are some of the things that I believe if Nibanians in the diaspora, because even there are folks in government, Cyrus, there are folks in government who came here. We received them with dignity and respect. And we gave them the environment that I believe that they deserve. And they promised to give basic support to the Women Empowerment Center or to build a basic park in places that like Camplay or Tapeta. But now when we call them, some of them barely answer their phones. But we still have to engage them, knowing that we in the diaspora, we don't need anything from folks in Liberia, but we also want to give back, no matter what. Because even the folks today have been raising money for Nima County here in the diaspora. But some of these folks who are paying this money are folks who are retired. Some of them are not even employed. They are giving the very last amount of dollars they have in their account because they believe that we all have to give back to the county. Back to you, CEO.
Thank you so much again. We booked you for 1 hour 10 minutes and we've gone over, but I know you pay direct tonight. Direct from Booyah, so that Booyah station. You gotta pay direct.
Or the Zole people direct can't finish.
Welcome to the show, Chris and Dr. Fule. I will have you ask your question or make a statement, and then from there I will have our guests give us his parting comment.
Yeah, thank you, CEO, for having me, and it is a privilege to once again be on the BKS TV. And I want to say, Sarah,
I can see you on CMC now.
No, I will be popping in once in a while. Yeah, I want to welcome the most hardworking PD in the history of UNICCO right now, the Honorable George Flomo in studio today, Propani. I'm very excited. And Cyrus, I want to say, my man, hang in there. Don't run away from politics. Men as a whole, we are political beings. But I understand the thing that we all are feeding. When you want to see stuff happening in our county, the most powerful or in Liberia right now, the county that make the decision, and when we elect our leaders to go and advocate on our behalf, they become dormant, they become followers. You know, we the one people need to be following. Instead, we are the one following people. It becomes very frustrating, very frustrating. I understand where you're coming from, but when you were talking about advocacy, I understand. Honorable Flomo, you saying that we should understand the timing and what have you. Yes, we understand the timing. I hold the thought of Cyrus on this issue as well. I don't think Nya is genuine. You know, from my own analysis, I don't think Honorable Twain is genuinely advocating in the interest of the common Nibaeans. You know, I think he wants to gain a political relevance, and because 2029, everybody is talking about 2029. Today, if Nya is genuine, the budget is out. The draft of the budget is out there, and people are deliberating on the budget. Nya should be talking about, like the CEO make a very, make a very serious point about in our budget signatures funds from Estado Mita from our county, $200 and some more million is in our budget. They're not questioning it. You know, they're not talking to the people of Nima, because our budget should reflect on the life of the people that sent them in the Capitol building to represent them. Nobody is talking about it. None of our lawmakers, our leaders from Nimba, Musa Berete, Honorable Berete is talking, later about some of those stuff that are going on. But I can't hear none of our leaders from Nima in that building advocating on behalf of the people, everybody, especially in this 55th legislature. Young people, a lot of young people are from Nimba that in that building. They're not looking in the interest of their fellow young people. All of them dumber, all of them very quiet. They just following the lead. They just following the floor. Whatever's come, they say yes or to it. No question asked, nothing. It's frustrating. So I'm in the same boat. Science is setting in right now as a young man in the diaspora. And those leaders can come here. They can travel to see the effect of leadership on the life of common people around the world. When they get back, they do same old business as usual. Then when time comes, they give peanuts to our people to vote for them. And CEO, I want to end on this note. You said something is a song that I sing all the time. We go to school. Our parents said better ball. They taught having laws to various marketplaces. They sit under the rain in the sun to sell those better ball so that we can be the one. When that time comes, they don't have the strength to sell better ball again. We are the one now that are going to stand in that gap to take care of them when they don't have that strength, when that strength have gone. Today, those leaders or those so-called leaders will come and give us peanuts, and we are the one that can now go on the various media platform to advocate against the effort of our mothers, the effort of our fathers, and we advocate against ourselves and the future of our children. Because what they're doing, you're not hurting those lawmakers, you're not hurting those leaders, you're hurting our mothers who's selling better ball in the sun, who's selling better ball under the rain, who walking long distance, without having laws on their heads, no roads to travel on, crossing, risking their life crossing in boat, and what have you, they hurting them. So I want to say thank you.
Thank you, Dad. You see that I think when you flip from our platform and go to CMC platform, and when you come for 2 minutes, you want to steal all our guest time, yeah. So
right, CEO, let me just respond to the doctor real quick.
Oh, but you are the guest, sir. You're the guest. You got all the
right.
time.
That I really understand your concern.
Right,
and I know where you're coming from. But budgetary allocations and budgetary debate is not always happening on social media than what folks are yelling on social media. And most of the times when we talk about budget hearing, these things happen in the settings. And like I mentioned earlier, the first thing that came to the minds of the ruling party was that since the budget has been increased to over $1 billion, they should go hire more people. They were not thinking about human development. They were not thinking about investing toward the economy. They were not, thinking about building basic necessities, just a basic clinics for folks back in the interior. Because maybe my grandfather in the interior, who has been in the scene hot for over 30 years, barely see electricity. They are not thinking about that. We have agriculture ministers, ministers who are all based in Maserado. But the first thing that came to their mind was we should hire more people and increase expenditure, which will have to do with salary and expense versus investing into human capital, right? These were my statement when it comes to that budget. But as an Ibanian, I believe that, or as a Liberian, I believe that if the budget has been increased to over $1 billion, I think that human development should be a key on the agenda. Agriculture should be key on the agenda. Education should be key on the agenda. But all the ministers that were in our cabinet meeting today, the first thing they were trying to do, how many people they can employ in the ministry. And some of these folks are not folks who are already qualified to hold strategic positions within the government to actually deliver for the people of Liberia. So, CEO, I believe we are all thinking the same way, just with different tone. Jan Twain on the other side, he is somebody who is very letter. We cannot sweep him under the rug for his for being very educated. And I believe that he reads to the letter. And I believe that Jan Twain will not sign on the budget, knowing full well that this budget will be selling his constituents short. And if he's going to do that, then we will have to hold Jan Twain accountable going forward, because 2029 is not next year. 2026 is next year. We still have 2027 budget. We have to hold you accountable that he compromised the office of the senior senator or the office of the Nibadian people who elected him to office. There is nothing in our budget that will benefit the people.
There's nothing about senior senator. Yeah, nothing about senior senator.
My man, don't get distracted. I senior senator thing that bringing us in the country. But yeah, George, you can hear me, right?
Yes, you are very live.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for this. I know we said 1 hour, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes. But I don't know if you have 5 minutes of your time to squeeze in 2 minutes question from Chris and then Veteran Malfa Singh. If that's okay with you, then we can do that. If not, then we'll if you don't have the time, then we can let you go.
I'm totally fine. I will skip the gym tonight.
Gym, come on. Don't be that DQ. Sorry, GP.
La DK Trini.
But Chris, yeah, welcome to the show, Vet Malfa Singh. I know it's been a long time. We missed you on here. Congratulations to all of us. Today, we hit the milestone. Today, we hit the 10,000 marker followers. Organic. Yeah. Organic.
You gotta give me credit for that, though.
Okay, man. So, all the people that have been coming on a birthday, Musa, you know, that you alone, man. But it's a great thing. I want to say thanks to our followers, thanks to our journalists, our team, the entire team, from July to December 2nd to hit 10,000. I think that's a big deal to all of us. So congratulations to the team. So Chris, we'll give you 2 minutes of time to be able to ask your questions. If you don't have questions, then you can make a statement.
Okay, thank you, CEO. Let me say good evening to my big brother, Joe Flomo. And let me say congratulations to us for reaching out 10,000 organic viewers. So congratulations to us. Not just a question, just so much statement I want to make. I listened to my dear big brother, he talked negatively But I just want to make this few statement. What people referring to as senior senator is nowhere in our constitution. I think we need to start educating the public on it. The 1986 constitution I've done intensive research for yesterday. There's no part in the constitution that talks about senior senator. So we as young people we need to start educating the public on it. And the next point is where Sarah talk about having in each of the people name we know record when accident mental things happen in our country. Now we use the Nima people, the records are out there. The reason of us we don't want to talk about it now. People feel they want to find Nya. Nya, they want to do that when use the unified for the people Nima. I could remember Mama saying I don't show super Nima when that's happy. If you can record that, now a news I know about Eddie. So to against the people Nima. That's the accident mental issue where he came from. Where there's time. The effect of accident mental. And I think you're in government, you're in the party, and the youth against the people Nima. So they were young African today back for me. So that whole advocacy is doing is a beauty. It's that serious, not genius. We should look in the face of the leader, tell the truth. When not South African for Nima, the records are out there. It's a product records. Send a 2 minute thing with broadcast on a 2 minute thing first. Have you ever heard Nyan talk about it? Have you ever heard Nyan talk about it? They were not talking about it. I heard John saying that all advocating for body issue debate, they can't be on social media. But people are say for me to them. And I will say we're free. What we have in Nima now, they are press single. We mess a double dolo. Anybody know a double dolo do it? Double dolo JSC in the Senate? The records are out there. I never supported double dolo before. But if I want to critical individual we have for Nima, I could stay in the Senate to advocate when it comes to the budget issue. That's the budget. You saw Nyan talking about Nima country issue. You saw that's the Nyan talking about the Nima. You will never talk about it. Because after the mental issue, you know, they political center to the now. When so unfortunate, it's so frustrating for our people in Nima. The Nyan that talked against all yesterday, when that zero-witty happened in Nima, they say you have to know I can't become injured today. But again, we'll know that, but I'm calling with the time approaches. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. The man wrote a long open letter to the VP today. We have it on our platform. The man is making his point about the whole senior senator debate. Well, as to I think he got some constitutional or something he said on there. We have time, George. Take a look at it real quick. But yeah, what do you have to say to what your brother Chris just alluded to?
I believe that Chris is a very intelligent young brother that I've known over the years. And I also do believe that in Badians, we don't believe in power or trying to castigate one another, no matter what our path into, because these are things that will bring in resentment into our political discourse. So I don't think it's something super intellectual for us to be engaging ourselves in. And if this kind of conversation comes up, we as individuals that I believe that we should be educating folks. We should be at that position to educate them professionally and not to incite them. So I believe that the issue of the senior senator or junior senator is not something that should be debated on, because senior means you've been there longer than the other person. So it's just a common sense kind of stuff. But when it comes to Nyan's sincerity on NIMBA or on policies, I'm not going to sit here to speak on who Nyan is, right? But I will speak on the basis of being a Nimbadian. Mm-hmm. What we are, we would disagree on policies or other stuff. Because I remember in the Zlowy stuff, there were folks who were actually burning down houses or in fact burning down materials for the investors, right? In fact, my representative at the time, Prince Toba, was arrested by the Liberia National Police. So I know these stories, and I know what happened in Zlowy at the time, because I'm literally from Zlowy. But what we are saying here is, if there's a specific topic before us, and we are discussing that topic, if Nyan sell himself short in the discussion, we will hold you accountable for that, because we are talking about 2026 budget. If Nyan put his signature on the budget, that 90% of that budget goes towards salary and expenditure, and not towards education and human development, I will hold Nyan accountable. Because if the first thing that came from the mouth of these ministers and deputy ministers, all these cabinet ministers today, was that we will have to hire more people and then add them to the salary, if that is what made them to increase the budget to 1.5 billion and Nyan signs that budget, I will have to hold Nyan accountable, because we want to invest into education. That should be our primary goal. We want to invest into human capital. We want to invest into trade. Look at the PYJ Polytechnic University. Everybody are kind of riding on the auspices of PYJ today. But since his death, that environment has gone dead. Nothing has happened on it, because nobody is trying to advocate for that institution to be placed, or for folks who work in that institution to be on the Ministry of Education payroll. They are not doing this basic stuff. So if they cannot advocate for these basic necessities, let's take, for example, they continue to talk about the yellow machine that is coming. I had a conversation with even the VP or Chief of Office staff, or the last time they were in Pennsylvania. And I told him, I said, we are bringing in yellow machine in the country. And we are giving, maybe they said, what, 22 pieces to each county, if I'm right? Right? But in these counties, you don't even have a better facility to maintain this yellow machine. What will happen if these things break down? Maybe 5 machines breaks down in a single day. What will happen? How can you manage this yellow machine? We need to invest into human capital, especially trade. And that is something that I was advocating for. So if they can come together today and say, you know what, Nyan Twain will be advocating for the budget, maybe for the budget to be passed. If Nyan put his signature, in fact, I will always be texting Nyan. He's a very good communicator. I will talk to him that this budget, I have gone through budget lines. And what I have seen in this budget allocation is not in the interest of the Liberian people. And we should go back and revisit these budget lines to see what can actually be invested into the life of the ordinary Liberian. Because man took out all man took out that is in the market, they want electricity. They want, they want to freeze their food. They don't even have these basic necessities to take their produce. So these are some of the things that we should be advocating for, instead of us just putting people on payroll, because CDC did it. CDC literally junked the whole payroll system, brought in people who were not even qualified to hold strategic position in government. And then the government was paying them all this unnecessary money. And then we want to do the same thing with this current ruling party, when the women empowerment is sitting over there, when we can actually put more people into the women empowerment for them to educate them. And then that women empowerment become a hub for a lot of young women who will go in that building and learn a lot of just basic skills for them to be independent tomorrow. So that is my, that is my stuff, because I'm hoping that even though the people in the diaspora, the embodies in the diaspora, they are paying over $250,000 towards that women empowerment center to be built. The basic thing the government can do is put the administrator on the government payroll. If we are getting over $1.4 million from concessions, why can't we just put these basic volunteers on the payroll so that center can be run professionally? So these are some of the, some of the agreement, in fact, some of the conversation that continue to happen behind the scenes, CEO.
Thank you so much. Great point. That sadly, the reason why, for me now, the reason why I guess the putting more emphasis on hiring more people in the government is because the government is the largest employer in the country. So I guess that's the only way they see to provide more jobs because people, also the partisans, are not happy. But welcome to the show, Vet Marferson. I don't even know where to start with you because we have so much. Yesterday should have been a good day for you here. You didn't come. But we'll stay behind for the post analysis. We have our brother George Flomo, who's the guest on here tonight. I know you've been following briefly. If you have a question for him, you can ask. If you don't, you can make your statement. Then we'll take leave of him. Then from there, we'll stay as we do all the time for our post analysis.
All right. Thank you, CEO. And let me say congrats to the BKS family for the level of achievement made in such a short period of time. I know it's been a difficult time, especially all of us busy. We have different issues that we are engaged with, but to take on the challenge and grow the platform to where it is, and as you said in your word, organic, 10,000 followers, I think it's a good move. But to some of us, the journey has just started. We have a long way to go in growing the platform beyond Nima, beyond Liberia. I think we can do it. If others did it, we too can do it. No one is superhuman. We too can make it work. So I want to say thank you to you, first and foremost, to your family. It's one thing to harbor a dream, is yet another thing to take the dream to reality. We're seeing the level of vision becoming a reality, and at the fast speed for that matter, and it's something that I'm quite happy about. I really don't have a question, but I just want to make a little statement. And the first to begin with will be the issue of senior senator, junior senator. I listened to Chris, and I want to side with him, especially when you look at the foundation of a senior or junior. No matter your age in the Senate, a senator goes for 9 years. All senators make the same pay. All senators have the same responsibility. The senator, their jurisdictional responsibility is to a landmark of a county. So there's nothing like being in 12th grade, 11th grade. Being in 12th grade, 11th grade, you see the dichotomy. It's 11 and one is 12. So you see the difference. But after the war, when Liberia was getting to its post-war status as far as governance is concerned, then we have to, because it's by law, the Senate, which is the upper house, you don't have to enter the Senate during election year. A group of them, tenure would have expired, and a group of them, tenure would have started. And coming from war, our first, post-war election during the Manasarali era, there were hard decisions made. They look at the voting, the vote count or vote accumulated by senators. And the folks want to reduce their tenure from 9 years, which is constitutional, to 6 years because they wanted to strike that balance. So it was on this basis, Adolphus Duro was there for a shorter time compared to Senator Johnson, because Senator Johnson acquired the highest number of votes. And because of that, Senator Adolphus Duro had to go to election in the 2011 election, and Senator Johnson remains. Just so as to reach that constitutional balance as required by the Constitution. I think that was where the phrase senior or junior or the word senior or junior came into play, but it's not uh, a title that is unique to your level of stay in the Senate to be given to any individual senators. They're all senators, regardless of when you went there and when who did not go there. They are all senators, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. So we should refrain from uh, titles and activities that will put us against each other. We have the biggest thing to protect, which is our country, which is our peace, and we've come a long way. So these things are things that we should be looking at. And that that being said, the second thing will be Senator Twain's advocacy. No matter how one sees it, the fact remains he's made his voice heard, and that's paramount. The reason for which we elected them is to speak on our behalf. Is his advocacy in the right direction? Yes, there are a lot of issues that he has touched that remains quite fundamental to the operations of MITER based on the MDA. So I think I don't have that stake to judge the sincerity of it. He just one senator. Legislative decisions are based on consensus, based on voting. There are a lot of things that can influence legislative decision. And no matter how loud you cry, you have to first of all develop that personality and influence to be able to influence your colleagues towards your direction. So it could be, you will stand for something, you will make all the argument for it, and the decision becomes contrary to what you stand for. That doesn't take away the sincerity of your advocacy. It's just because you did not have that influence enough to be able to influence decision towards what you want happen. And one of the things that we've always wanted to see, like somebody was talking about budget debate, one thing we've always wanted to see, and some of us have said that, our lawmakers should make the move for it, is when it comes to allotment of budget in the national budget to counties across Liberia. It's sad to note that Nima County carries the same budget as Bomi County or Bapuru County. With no disrespect to the people of Bapuru County, it's true that they have the status as a county as well as Nima, but development decision, budget decision cannot be done in the absence of populations. Well, you give Nima 250,000, you give Bapuru 250,000. You could put just 75,000 clinic or hospital in Bapuru. It can serve the entire population of Bapuru, and they will not have to look for other clinics to go. But you cannot do that with Nima based on the population. It will overwhelm that establishment and it will become a problem. So it's a disservice to the people of Nima when it comes to our share of the national cake, the cake that we contribute significantly to the preparation process. I'm not just talking about the vote, but when you look at economic activities across the county and how much we contribute to revenue generation in the country, is so, huge that Nima will be judged as per county status as you will judge Bapolu and Bomi County. I think our lawmakers should stand together or must come together to proper argument that will discuss some of these things. And the second thing is, we're talking about, the third thing will be, bloating government and you just be proud to say government is the largest employer in the country, so we just have to be employing people. I mean, it takes away creativity, it takes away innovation, it takes away everything, because it is government responsibility to create the enabling environment for businesses to thrive.
Right.
And when that happens, then the private sector becomes viable and very, very vibrant. Then employment window get expanded. But if you check Liberia, especially for the agriculture sector, you will find out that there are a lot of grants, free money coming to government for our partners, for agriculture support, for local farmers, capacity, financial capacity, academic capacity, whatever capacity you think about enhancement so as to make Liberia agriculture proficient. Interestingly, you will get to realize that only politicians and big shots in government are farmers that can access some of those resources. If you are an ordinary person, no, you can't have farm. Just on Georgia administration, look across Liberia, see the farmers. It is Amara Conan, it is Edwin Melvin Snow, it is this person, it is that person, the rest of it. Even in our own country, you will see striving young people who have the passion. Like I was following a YouTube video of a young farmer in Bone County. The boy is striving. Now he has cultivated up to about 15 acres because he got a 6,000 cocoa trees. But a cocoa in the grass, no money. So efficiently managed that 6,000 trees to take him into, economic zone. So he's striving. And they have made multiples of videos. State actors are seeing it. But there the agricultural minister to think about a young child like that. No. You either go to either the vice president farm or either the president's farm in Bumi County or either Senator Snow farm. So, I mean, the wealth of the country has not trickled down to the ordinary people who are the voters. And that's sad.
Thank you.
You can look at the budget from 800 million to 1.2 billion, and you see that 80% of the budget is just on the people, on the leaders. So how can you then widen the scope and functions of the private sector to serve the populations? So the people will continue to be poor. Since I came to the West, all the jobs that I see people go to has not been government jobs.
No.
They have a vibrant private sector.
Yeah.
And it is the private sector that will lead the development of the country because it puts people on job and it gives people resource opportunity and they're able to self-develop and the country takes the glory because the countries have got to provide that enabling environment. So these are some of the things our actors must be able to argue. But again, it says government is the reflection of the people. Because all the things that we are discussing, we are the one who elected those people. I bet you can even talk about the diaspora, we in America. It's a nonsense because go to America, you'll see diaspora, CDC, diaspora, Unity Party, diaspora, AMC. In fact, that's where the mess can start from before it gets to our people. There are people who will take phone and call their people. If you can't vote for that person, then don't depend on me again. And the people are coerced to make those kind of political decisions.
Thank you,
Thanks, so these are some of the foundational things that we have to address and put more emphasis on how the leadership mechanism is being derived as opposed to their function. And you put in there, and you are the one who messing up. That's all I can say.
Thank you. We'll stay behind for our post analysis. Speaking of the driver behind the economy, George happened to be a small business owner, and he knows this better. And even in the U.S., entrepreneurs and small businesses are the ones that move the U.S. economy, not the government as employer. But yeah, Georgie, I know, man, this is great. I never expect anything less. I hope this is not your last time coming. Make sure you're busy, man. I know that, but try to find time to come on here sometimes. You can be one of our guests or maybe guest panelists once in a while. This is for all of us. You've been one of the major supporters of BKS from way back, and to see where we are today. So thank you so much for coming. I know you've been here that long. We'll let you do your parting comments. You're from Sunny Quilly, so I'm going to ask you to add this to your parting comment there. So I'm coming to talk about running business, so don't worry about it.
Obviously, CEO, I'm not running. I don't even have the legs to run.
I can't do that to you.
I don't have the legs to run right now, but
so
I can tell you for a fact that the future of BKS is in good hands, and I can see that. I have followed you guys over the years, man. But let me go to Honorable Davis' point real quick.
Okay, cool.
One thing that I was say here when it comes to senior or junior senators of leadership position in Nimba County is that I believe 100% that we are all in it together. It is not about who is a senior, who is a junior, as long as we are fighting for the common good of the Nimba people. That matters to me more than somebody who holds just a power or position. And I also believe that the Constitution defines really who is a senior and who is a junior, even though they were not very explicitly into what what it says. But I can tell you for a fact that the Constitution clearly states that if somebody's died, maybe that person happens to be a senior senator, the person next to them becomes the junior senator. And also, what is the fact here is, if we all just come together to work for the common good of the Nimba people, instead of us trying to assert ourselves for power or position, I feel we are going to advance the agenda of the Nimba people. And I've seen that all the time. There are representatives and senators that I've met with. I've had conversations with, representatives. Some of them, that I already have personal or relationship with. And I believe that whenever I have this conversation with them, my common goal here is, how can we advance the agenda of the Nimba people? Not just about us going to parliament and be discussing or debating or yelling at one another. What about back home? What about just providing basic necessities? I have President Samuel G's wife who went to all the villages and provided them with basic healthcare necessities. Rose G, right? So if all of us can just come together and say, you know what, this is the opportunity that we have to give, instead of just thinking that we have to be in power or position. I have a lot of students on scholarship, personally, that I just want to give them that opportunity for them to excel and then achieve their own personal potential. So I believe that in Nimba, we have the potential, and the only way that we can achieve this potential is for us to tap into the minds of the younger generation, especially folks who are coming up right now. Because our generation, you don't even trust anybody anymore. Because even if I do any good in my own district today, I'm going to be accused of trying to run for any political office. Because we are so suspicious of one another. We doubt each other. We doubt the sincerity of each other. And that is dangerous for a community that is striving. So I believe, CEO, the best that we can do as a community is to always unite, no matter how much we disagree with one another. No matter how much we disagree, we have to come together and then go for the common good, which is providing the opportunity that our community needs. And in my closing statement, CEO, I really want to thank you personally. I know BKS started from nowhere, And I know that your dad is going to be extremely proud of you for keeping up the legacy from the BKS TV show, from the foundation. You continue to elevate his legacy as well. And all the platform guests who always come on here to elevate that. And I know that they are emerging journalists who just want to start their own career. And this is going to be a show for you where you come and practice and get better. And I believe 100% that this station is going to blow off. And, you know, you will be booking us maybe a couple of $1 million for us to appear on the show. So I believe that you guys will do well. And I'm rooting for you guys. And I'm really, really rooting for you guys. And I wish BKS TV the best. And I'm looking forward, CEO, to be appearing frequently, even as a panelist or as a guest as well, just to discuss. As long as it is about the people of Nimba, I'm down for it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you so much, Chaji. Thanks. It has been great having you on here. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.